Okay, so here are the three big stories for today, and it's all bad news. But if I don't bring you the bad news, if I'm just talking about good news all the time, I'm basically a propagandist. So I'm trying to help you understand what's really going on. So the first is Zelensky calls for operational changes to the Ukrainian military after sacking a commander. Now, the commander that was sacked was the head of the medical forces. Her name was Major General Tetiana Otsenko. I'm sorry if I'm slaughtering that name. So generally, you don't replace a commander that's working out. And so this change I saw coming about a week ago, where there was some talk about potentially replacing her. So it's been in the works for a little while. Hopefully they'll get this sorted out and medical treatment will be to the degree that it should be. Okay, the second story, this one is even worse news. Head of the Ukrainian agency suspected for graft fired. So this guy's in charge of the country's State Service of Special Communications and Information Protection. From what I understand, he was on the take and he got 62 million hryvnia. That's equivalent to about $1.72 million US. And it doesn't look like he was engaging in like direct treason, but he was taking money, which is corruption, which is causing potential problems. Like he was in charge of cyber defense, basically. I mean, maybe not technically cyber defense, but I mean that kind of area. Okay, and so that's a bad look. Okay, third story, also bad. Ukrainian optimism fades as start of another war, of a winter of war. Okay, so why is optimism fading? Well, there's a lot of things going on. The summer offensive didn't pan out like they were hoping to, but it was kind of doomed from the start, given that they didn't have air superiority or an air force to back them up, and they were doing something that was very difficult. Rumors of a rift between Zelensky and Zelensky. There's exhaustion after not quite 2 years of war, a year and 3/4 of war. The Middle East is overshadowing what's going on in Ukraine to the degree that there's 1% coverage of the war in Ukraine on CNN. There's Ukraine fatigue, where like people are just tired of talking about or thinking about Ukraine, and it's getting off of their radar. There's infighting in the U.S. Congress. There is most of the funds allocated for Ukraine has already been spent. Negotiation with Putin is only likely to create, if they do have to like come to some settlement, only likely to extend the war as Putin regroups and comes back again. So for all those reasons, there's a lack of optimism. But I'm not pessimistic. I think that the Ukrainian spirit shouldn't be discounted. If we've learned anything from the last 630 or so days, don't count the Ukrainians out. All right, that's all the news that I have right now. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the subscribes, and the coffees. And thank you for being the kind of person who still cares about Ukraine.